Yeah, how about another round of applause for our music ministry? Led by Reverend Sherry Hersey. Thank you. It was such a moment. And now I'm going to do something kind of funny. And I'm feeling bad about it. So I'll just soak in the nice moment for a moment. So we're looking at the Advent quality of joy, and I thought I'd start with some jokes. That's what I was saying, transitioning to something totally different here, folks. So, they say that laughter is the best medicine, but do you know where you get it? From the hospital.
Tom, get on your drum kit.
You need a drum. We need a drum kit. Thank you. Ba-dum-bum. My friend told me that her Hawaiian HOA passed a noise ordinance so strict that you can't even laugh out loud. That's right. All you can do is a low ha. Laugh and the world laughs with you. Snore and you sleep alone. And then I turned to Facebook and I saw this one. Ready for this? Mary, exhausted, having just gotten Jesus to sleep, is approached by a young man who thinks to himself, what this girl needs is a drum solo. It's always the drummer. And that brings us to Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 10, where it says, the joy of the Lord is my strength. Because I'm thinking, if I was Mary in that moment, boy, would I need some strength. The joy of the Lord is your strength, meaning the joy of divine consciousness is your strength. The joy of your divine nature is your strength. The joy of your I am nature is your strength. That is what the joy in Christmas is really all about. It's about remembering our divine nature, our divine wholeness. That is what the joy of the season is about, rebirthing that memory of who we truly are. And I love this from our co-founder, Unity's co-founder, Charles Fillmore, in his book, The Essential Charles Fillmore, which is really a compilation of all the lectures he did. He was so ahead of his time. This is like late 1800s, early 1900s. Here's what he said on this slide. All healing systems recognize joy as a beneficent factor in the restoration of health to the sick. We now know this. Scientifically, we now know this. He went on to say, the mind puts kinks in the nerves in ways beyond description. A thought of fear will stop the even flow of life in some nerve center deep down in the body. I know that personally. He goes on, one of the most direct and effective shatterers of fear, I mean, one of the best ways to shatter up that nerve blockage is laughter. Laugh your fears away. He says, laugh your fears away, see how ridiculous they are when traced to their source. So ahead of his time, and so then I went to the Mayo Clinic, and I said, what are all the benefits of laughter? And here's what the Mayo Clinic says. It says short term, when we laugh, we actually stimulate all of our organs, get more oxygen. So you stimulate your organs with additional oxygen and health because you're laughing, right? You're taking in that extra breath. It activates and relieves your stress response. It aids muscle relaxation. That's just the short term. And then long term, meaning if you add laughter and joy to your life, over time, you improve your immune system, it relieves pain, it increases personal satisfaction, it lowers depression and anxiety, and it improves your mood and self-esteem. So there's a lot of benefit to laughter. And of course, laughter is just that outer expression of joy. And joy is part of a spiritual life. So to be clear, it doesn't mean to avoid the challenges of life. It doesn't even mean to avoid the traumas, and we can't really avoid the challenges or traumas of life, can we? It doesn't even mean to avoid or, those feelings that come up with the challenges and traumas of life. But what it does mean to say that joy is part of a spiritual life, it means to not get stuck in the long-term negativity around the challenges or mourning for so long that we forget to then keep living life. So feel the feelings, process the feelings, work on those challenges, and be sure that you add joy along the path as you heal. It's not just when I resolve this, then I'll be joyful. It's actually about adding joy along the way as you heal, not just at the end of the road, but along the journey. The glimmers of joy are what help the healing process. It's about looking and trying to find those glimmers of joy along the road of life. That's what helps the healing process. And then there's this great quote that I found from Frederick William Faber. He says, and I know all of you know these people, probably everyone in this room. There are souls in this world who have the gift of finding joy wherever they go and leaving it behind them wherever they go. Do you know someone like that? Yeah. And that's really what we're striving towards in our spiritual life of joy. To be the joy, to bring the joy, to leave it behind for others, whether it's others that come into that room or the next generation. But to leave that feeling, that energy of joy behind you, as well as with you, to be that joy. And again, it doesn't mean plastering a smile on your face at all times, because especially I think when, if somebody is hurting you or walking through your boundaries, you're saying no, and they just keep going, yes, 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 right through, right? Or they're hurting you emotionally, verbally, however. It doesn't mean, okay, spiritual, I have to be spiritual and be joyful. No. I'm not talking about being an inauthentic expression of joy. In fact, when we honor our boundaries, when we honor the divine being that we are and we don't accept such behavior, that actually means now I'm standing in my truth and I can now shine authentic joy from within out. Do you hear that? Yeah. So we don't just inauthentically plaster a smile on our face all times. Again, we work through those challenges. We also hold healthy boundaries. And in doing so, we're honoring our divine nature, that we don't tolerate as a divine being anything other than joy. And in that way, then we can show up and be and bring the joy. Because we know that joy, like other emotions, is a vibration. It's a wave. It's a frequency. And so the more you put out, the more you're going to find, and it will find you. And again, we've all been in a room with someone who's filled it with joy. And we want to be around that person, right? So again, I'm not saying to be just like that person who brings the joy. I'm saying be your own unique expression of joy and express that. What is your own personal expression of joy? And be that. So some of you know my mom. She's a little crazy. Those who laughed know my mom. It's okay. She'll watch this later and she'll agree. But mostly before the pandemic, she loved going and doing free hugs. Have you seen these people? One of them is my mother. So you have a poster and it says free hugs, and her and her friends would, stand around and offer free hugs to whatever strangers were walking by. Now, this gave strangers great joy. It gave her great joy. This is not how I want to spread joy. But this is fantastic for her. This is her way to spread joy and give joy to other people. For myself, I like to express joy with a smile, with support, with some bad jokes. So we express joy differently, and that's wonderful. It's wonderful that she has a way to express joy, and I have a way to express joy. Because now joy can pop up in different ways in our different communities and then in our world. So it's all about finding your own way to express joy. And that no matter how you choose to express joy, we know that the world needs more joy. Yes? Yes. It has enough sadness. It needs more joy. And so during the holiday season, when we're gathering with family and friends, we have a choice. And our choice in our conversations can dwell on the sadness and the hopelessness, or we can help shift the conversations to joy. Where is the glimmer of joy? It's the law of mind action, that wherever we put our focus, that's what's going to grow. That's what we'll manifest more of in our life. So if we want joy in our life, we have to keep choosing it. Not just for the holidays, because sometimes it's easy in the holidays, right? When we're caroling, when we're with family and friends. But it's really about choosing it every day. Again, not feeling guilty when we're not joyful, but nudge ourselves gently back to joy. Joy doesn't happen only when life is perfect. Joy doesn't happen only when life is going swimmingly well. And that is actually probably the most important time to try to look at, okay, how can I add some joy here? Where can I see a glimmer of joy? Catching the glimmers. So it's about releasing this idea of perfection. And when we release the idea that it has to be perfect before I can be joyful, then what we do is we start to choose happiness, harmony, gratitude, joy. So taking a minute to think about these questions, I'll put them up in a minute, but just think about what brings you joy. How do you like to express joy? In what ways would you like to express joy? Free hugs, bad jokes? What actions can you take to bring more joy into your life, and how can you express it? Starting now. Because where your focus goes, the energy flows. So again, it's sometimes easy at the holidays to find joy, but thinking about a week from now, 2 weeks from now, in the new year, how can I be the joy? How can I experience joy? So here's the questions, in case you want to take a picture of them for our soul work. Also adding this one, who brings me joy? Remember, we're vibrational beings. Am I going to sit in the vibration, that frequency of joy or misery? Who am I going to surround myself? What do I want to marinate in? So who brings me joy? What brings me joy? How would I like to experience that joy in my life? How can I bring more joy and experience that joy? How can I surround myself with joyful individuals? And then, how can I extend it to others? How can I share it with others? See, Christmas involves the message of joy, and it's really anchored in that story of Jesus' birth itself, that angel who appears to the shepherds in the fields on the night of Jesus' birth. And from Luke chapter 2, verse 10 to 11, that angel announces, "Do not be afraid. For behold, I bring to you good tidings of great joy, which shall be for all the people." Not some of you, all of you. "For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord." So the reasons the shepherds are to have joy is because a Savior has been born. And of course, we understand this in unity, Savior, metaphysically, to mean our growing awareness, our growing spiritual consciousness, our divine wholeness, the understanding and remembering of our divine wholeness. And so we can celebrate our own birth with a new thought that we are our own saviors, that we are divine creations, and we're divinely creating, co-creating the world, our world, with that one power and presence of the universe, divine love and wisdom. And so this is the joy in Christmas. This is what the joy in Christmas is really about. And it's worth celebrating. You as a divine being, you and your growing awareness that you are a divine being, that is worth celebrating. So will you say some affirmations with me today? Let me read them first. The first one on this slide. "The joy of my divine nature is my strength." Will you say that with me? The joy of my divine nature is my strength. I celebrate myself as an expression of the divine. Together? I celebrate myself as an expression of the divine. I stand in joy, I express joy, and joy is what I experience. Together? I stand in joy, I express joy, and joy is what I experience. Yes, it is. And so I bless you all with a merry, joyous Christmas, everyone. Blessings.